So there are a huge amount of platforms, websites that you can use to share, promote and sell your music. It's a bit bewildering to know what to do, and you've only got a limited amount of time and energy. I've tried all sorts of things over the last few years. So in this video, I'm going to give you the benefit of that experience and tell you what services I've tried, how they've worked out, pros and cons, whether I'm still using them, and whether I recommend them to other musicians. What you use really depends on what you're doing, type of musician you are, type of music you're making. I'm a studio-based ambient electronic musician. I also do field recordings. So the path that I've found through these works for me. You know, this is just my own experience of these platforms. I actually made a similar video to this a few months ago, but in that video, I included a lot of detail about the products themselves and also the finances, the money that I'd made and I'd lost. I'm not going to do any of that in this. It's just going to be a quick run through of each of the platforms that I've used and my thoughts on them. So these are all platforms I've tried. I'm not going to get into all of them because some of them I only tried quite quickly. I'm just going to strip it down to the platforms that I've used for a reasonable amount of time. So in 2016, I started spending time in the evenings on my laptop, Ableton Live, working on producing new music, practicing, getting used to making music. And a couple of years later, 2018, I'd actually started to produce things that I was ready to share in some way. So that's when I first started looking at these platforms. And the first thing that I signed up to was Soundcloud. If you don't know what Soundcloud is, it's quite a complex proposition. It's a website where you can upload your music and then there is a community there. It's like social media in that people repost your work and comment on your work. And SoundCloud also works like a streaming service in that if you have a pro account there, you can monetize your music and SoundCloud will pay you for the number of plays that you have on the platform. And so initially, I wasn't really interested in making money from my music. I initially started uploading tracks to SoundCloud because I wanted to go round that loop of finishing music and sharing music and getting feedback on music. And you start to feel part of a community there. So in that way, it was very successful for me. The pro account allows you to upload more, to replace tracks, and it gives you access to the artist side of SoundCloud, which includes the streaming services. So you need a pro account in order to make money at SoundCloud, but it costs quite a bit for the pro account. So while SoundCloud provides a slightly higher rate on plays than the other streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music, you have to pay quite a lot of money to get on the platform. It's currently about £90 a year. You have to make enough money to cover that cost every year. And so unless you're getting a huge amount of streams and plays, you're not going to make any money on SoundCloud. I never made any money on SoundCloud. I lost money on SoundCloud. And I was happy to pay for the pro account because it was working as a community, but I did not make money there. And I think it would be quite hard to make money on SoundCloud. And ultimately, I've stopped using it because I now want to make money from my music. There might be a handful of people on there that make a lot of money because they get a lot of plays, but they probably have a lot of marketing behind them in order to get those plays on SoundCloud. I think it's unlikely you're going to make money from just using the platform as an independent musician. So that's SoundCloud. It's good for community, no good for making money. The next platform that I tried was Bandcamp. So Bandcamp is very different from SoundCloud. Bandcamp is essentially an online record shop. So you upload your music there. People can listen to it a few times and then they have to buy it. And you don't get paid for streams, for plays. People buy your music like a record shop, single purchase, and then they own your music to play. And so the return on that is much higher. If you sell one album on Bandcamp, you will make as much money as thousands and thousands of streams on Spotify, Apple Music, or SoundCloud. So if you can get sales on Bandcamp, you're going to make a lot more money. A lot of musicians use Bandcamp. They bring people in with other methods to Bandcamp and they sell their music. You get a large cut of the money there. And so you can make good money if you can bring enough customers into the platform. There is no internal promotion hardly. They do have news and like a column of the latest music in different genres on there. There is no network or promotion built into the platform. So I used Bandcamp from 2019 and I still sell my music on Bandcamp now, and I would recommend it to musicians. It's the best platform for selling your music, but you will need to do work around Bandcamp in order to bring traffic into it. So the obvious choice is social media. So 2020, I'd had an account on Instagram for years. I started to do promotional work around my music, photos, videos, promotions for albums on Instagram to drive traffic to Bandcamp. And I tried quite hard at this for a number of years. And in my experience, Instagram as a promotional tool for a platform like Bandcamp doesn't really work. Instagram, especially these days, perhaps less in 2020, but now it is not a platform that likes you to leave. They make it incredibly hard for you to put links in posts. They want you to stay on Instagram, scroll on Instagram, and just keep looking at new content. They do not want you to leave and go to Bandcamp and buy someone's record. So I would not recommend Instagram as a way to promote your music online in order to drive traffic to where you sell your music. I just would not recommend that. Instagram for me is also very distracting. Overall, not a good experience and not worthwhile in terms of sharing, promoting, and selling my music. So I no longer use Instagram. So on and off through this journey, I have also put my music not only on SoundCloud, not only on Bandcamp, but also on the other streaming services, Apple Music, Spotify, and you need a distributor to do that. And the current distributor that I have is Ditto, and the other ones, DistroKid, is probably the most famous. And you pay the distributor a small amount each year. I think Ditto's £19 a year. You upload your music to Ditto and it will distribute it to all the hundreds of streaming services that exist. And you will get paid for plays on those platforms. But you will need a lot of plays to make any money at all on that. Especially you've got to clear, first of all, the amount of money it's cost you to use the distributor. Spotify won't pay you anything unless you get over 1,000 streams. So unless you are bringing in huge numbers on streaming services, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of streams, you will not make any significant money on those platforms. I've tried it a number of times over the years, and I make no money from streaming services practically. So I would not recommend, if you're starting out and you don't have a massive marketing budget and a big company behind you to help you out, I would just not bother with the streaming services. I just think overall, they're not a good proposition for musicians at all. Bandcamp is better, but you need to find a way to get people to it. So we've got this dilemma here. By this point, I've got this dilemma. I've tried SoundCloud. I've tried Instagram to promote to Bandcamp. I've tried the streaming services, and I'm selling things on Bandcamp, but not much because I'm not getting any audience there. And I'm spending a lot of time making content for Instagram for no apparent gain, really. So what else could I use? So I looked around and I found Substack. So I've been on Substack for a couple of years, and Substack is a very interesting site. It's a platform that I think is still very much in development. It's changing quite a bit all the time. But the basis for Substack is that it's built on an email newsletter platform. So people come to your sign up page, they sign up to your email newsletter, and then they will get emails every time you post. And you build a list of email addresses that you can then post your news and content to, like MailChimp, like lots of other email platforms. But that's only the beginning with Substack, because that content that is your email newsletter is also accessible in lots of different ways. So the same content is accessible on the web as a list of articles. And so that makes it look more like a blog. You can go to Substack on the web and you can look at all the people that you subscribe to. You can go to their Substacks and they look like blogs. There's quite a lot of design layout you can do with colors and layout to make your Substack look slightly different from other people's Substacks. And so there is this online designed blog version of your newsletter. And there are also apps as well. There's iOS and Android, I think, that allow you to access the platform as well. But you also get a feed where you get all the posts from the people you subscribe. And there's also a section of Substack that works a bit like a social media network. It's called Notes. So you can, if you like someone's article, you can repost it to your notes and you can add a comment when you repost it. And then that will be fed to other people as a discovery type element in Substack. So people will find your content through other people reposting it into notes. You can repost your article into notes. And so it has this discoverability within the platform using notes. And also, you can monetize your content on Substack. So you can, if you want, only make posts available to paid subscribers or free subscribers. So it has that as well. And you can upload audio, you can upload video, you can upload images, image galleries. It's a very versatile platform and it's well worth having a look at if you are a musician. The main way people use Substack is as a writing platform. So it's mainly writers on there that essentially have a blog, a newsletter that then people read. And then sometimes they will make some of those posts paid, all of them or some of them paid only posts. That's normally the model that people have, is some free content, some paid content. Some people have all their stuff free, some people have all their stuff paid. And in terms of musicians on the platform, I use it as a journal, as a notebook, and as a way to promote anything that I'm doing. But other people sometimes put music up on Substack. So they might make a track every week, and that's only available to their paid subscribers. So they're making monthly income from their subscribers on the platform. And so that makes it quite a rich and varied platform that you can use in lots of different ways. So I would recommend Substack as a platform to take a look at if you are a musician and you're wanting to share, promote, or sell your work. Substack could be the only platform that you use. Depends on whether it suits you. But I think Substack's a very interesting platform. It's obviously still growing at the moment, and so it might be worth you taking a look at Substack. So Bandcamp, Substack. Then the next platform we're going to talk about is YouTube. So YouTube is quite an interesting platform for a musician. I'd had a YouTube channel for a long time and I'd uploaded bits and pieces over the years, but I'd never really given it a go as a full-on content platform to promote my music. I'd never tried that. I'd just use it occasionally, just chuck videos up on there. I didn't think much about it, never got very many views. And then last year I thought I'd have another go at it and learnt a bit more how to use it. Started making videos like this one and it's gone quite well. And YouTube works in obviously many different ways. You can produce videos there, and if you get views on your videos, if people are interested in your videos, that's obviously going to drive traffic to your other platforms like Bandcamp. So If your videos do well, you probably sell records. And also, if your videos do well and you become monetized, you get 1,000 followers, 4,000 hours of view time, and YouTube will start paying you for the ads that it runs. And you can earn money from AdSense within YouTube. So as a musician, if you're able to make videos that people want to watch, then YouTube can work well for you as a platform. But you have to be aware when you start YouTube that it is quite hard work. It's hard work to make videos that people will watch. And you just have to keep at it and keep learning and keep trying different things. And if you're willing to do that and invest some time in it, it can work for you. And I've been pleasantly surprised by YouTube. It is hard work, but you can make it work for you. And so I would recommend it to musicians if they feel that they can make videos and they've got something to say and they're happy to be in front of the camera or make vlogs or, you know, whatever is your style. If you feel that you can make content that is related to your music or creative practice, then YouTube can work for you. So in that way, I would recommend it. Also, YouTube does not mind so much as, say, Instagram, links going out to other things. So, you know, you can promote your music on YouTube, and you will. If you get a significant number of views, you will get some conversions on your products. It's just a normal thing that people do on YouTube, is promote their products, promote their music, and if they get enough views, then some of those will convert into sales. And so it's much more normal on YouTube to use it as a promotional tool. And so for that reason, I would say it's probably the best promotional tool for a musician if you're up for doing YouTube. So the last platform I'm going to talk about, which I only really started using earlier this year, is Patreon. Patreon is another member-based site where people pay you monthly subscriptions and you give them extra content. It's very similar to Substack in many ways. On Patreon, you can customize the monetization, the tiers that you offer to members much more than you can on Substack. But Patreon has no built-in social network side like Substack, which has the notes functionality. There's nothing like that really on Patreon. You can upload video to both, you can upload audio to both, but Patreon also allows you to upload digital products and arrange them in a shop. I also put my videos up on Patreon early and ad-free for subscribers. So there's lots of ways of making content and monetizing it on Patreon. And the main two reasons that I started a Patreon, even though I already had a Substack, was that you can upload digital products to Patreon that you can't release to Substack. You can actually upload PDFs to Substack as well, but you can't upload zip files. And so all my other products are zips. And so you have this shop on Patreon. That's one reason why I started a Patreon, the digital products, as well as a Substack. But the other reason is that even though Substack is now gaining in popularity and people are becoming more aware of it all the time, if you're a musician and you're on YouTube, then a much more normal route is for people to go to your Patreon to support you. So that's why I have a Patreon. In that I think YouTube and Patreon work very well together as a way to build a membership, a monthly subscription from your content on YouTube. And so these are the only platforms that I would really recommend to musicians in any way. Soundcloud is a great place to start uploading your music, to get feedback, and just to have a way to upload an endpoint to creating music. So I would recommend SoundCloud if you're starting out and that's all you want from it. Or if you're a hobbyist musician, it's a great platform to use. There's some good community on there. And if that's your goal, SoundCloud's great. But if you're wanting to make money from your music, then I would not recommend SoundCloud or the streaming services or the mainstream social media networks. If you want to make money from your music, my recommendation would be upload your music to Bandcamp and then use Substack and YouTube to promote your music. Make content for Substack, make content for YouTube, and push people to your Bandcamp to sell music. At the same time, if your YouTube becomes successful, you will start to make money on YouTube itself as a platform. Then you could throw in Patreon. Both Substack and Patreon are going to be building memberships. Substack will build you a membership internally, and Patreon will build you a membership from YouTube and from Substack. So that is what I would currently recommend as the platforms that will be most useful to most musicians. So that is my experience of a lot of different platforms that I've used to share, promote, and sell my music over the last few years. And obviously it depends on the music you're making and the exact outcomes that you want as to which of these platforms you choose. But I think in a lot of ways, you probably can't go wrong with something along these lines. So that's it for today. Hope that was helpful, and I'll see you soon. Cheers. Bye.